The following is a mechanically reproduced announcement, previously recorded from a live scheduled program on 24.7 The Stream. This is not a live broadcast. All guests, callers, and hosts granted 24.7 The Stream permission to be recorded. This program may contain strong language or topics not suited for younger listeners. Parental discretion is advised. Thank you for listening to 24.7 The Stream.
Welcome to the Geek Squad. We are here to talk about Star Wars and its awesomeness.
Everything about Star Wars you can imagine.
Star Wars fan theory, 100% to the wall today. So we were sitting around and we thought to ourselves, what would be a perfect way to talk about Star Wars? And we're just like, let's come live on the air, right?
Yeah, no, why not? Why don't you just jump in?
We're all Star Wars fans. I'm David.
I'm Matt.
I'm Keel.
And we are the Geek Squad.
Yeah.
The Geek Squad.
Right.
That's no affiliation with a certain electronics retailer.
So copyright, stay away. So anyway, we like Star Wars, so...
Yeah.
I mean...
You're welcome to call in, by the way.
Yeah, 630-445-1213, and we'll get you live and on the air.
Join chat.
Join us on chat. You go to 247thestream.com, click on Listen Live and Chat, and you can get up right here in the chat room. And you can talk about, what do you like? You can talk about Star Wars.
Anything Star Wars.
Anything Star Wars. I mean, we're fans. We're big fans.
And we'd love to talk to you about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we decided that we were going to jump right in and start kind of with the canon, and we decided that probably the best place to start that would be at Darth Sidious or Emperor Palpatine's Sith Master, which is Darth Plagueis. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Darth Plagueis to start?
All right, I'll talk about Darth Plagueis.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy.
Keel, who is Darth Plagueis?
Well, I don't really know that much about him.
Well, then I'll start with Darth Plagueis.
Okay.
All right.
I've been waiting. Plagueis is one of the most powerful Sith Lords of all time. He actually had several different, the Sith equivalent of a Padawan, an apprentice. And so he was the one who initially trained Palpatine. And this was when Palpatine was just a young kid on Naboo, and he had, displayed certain powers and was quickly rising to prominence in the political sphere of the Star Wars galaxy, which at that point was the Galactic Senate. And so when he rose to a position of power, this was something that attracted Plagueis' attention. And so he quickly took on the young Sidious at the time, Palpatine, and decided to take him under his wing and train him as an apprentice, Sith apprentice, to further the Sith cause through politics and the actual system versus solely in battling the Jedi, which of course at that point had been the galactic peacekeeping order for over 1,000 years at that point. At least we know that from the old Jedi Temple, and of course Yoda himself being there about 800 years prior to that, learning from the old masters. So Plagueis, anyway, is ultimately betrayed by Sidious, and Sidious supposedly, according to canon, has killed Plagueis and assumes the role of Sith Master, at which point he then takes on several apprentices, such as Count Dooku was one of them. There is report, no confirmation, that also General Grievous was one, and we do know for certain that Darth Maul was one.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't even see Darth Maul that much.
I know, that was one of the biggest tragedies of Star Wars.
Darth Maul, he had so much potential.
Yeah.
Oh, it was all right there, and everybody was so excited. We thought we were going to see him for 3 movies, and
there was even I don't know if you guys have ever seen images or anything about it, but there was a video game that was supposed to come out where you could play as Darth Maul.
That's awesome.
And to a lot of video game fans who know the history of video games and what video games have been canceled, that's considered to be one of the biggest video game tragedies.
That certainly is. I mean, when I know for instance, I've been playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes for the iPhone or Android, and honestly, that's one of they've again done that where they've basically nerfed Darth Maul to the point where he's practically useless. And this was your chance, Star Wars. This was your chance to finally redeem such a cool character, such an interesting character. They got maybe 5 minutes of screen time.
Yeah. Well, let's talk more about episode 1.
All right. Yeah. Let's get right into it. Since we went through Plagueis to Sidious, and that is really the beginning of the Galactic Empire.
Right.
So anyway. We get to Sidious, who is Emperor Palpatine, is still cloaked, at least as far as canon goes. He's placed an enchantment on himself to hide his disfigured appearance, which comes with using the dark side of the Force. And so he is rising up naturally through the Senate, and then through a trade dispute between the Trade Federation,
right?
Yeah, and
it's almost
like
laughable.
the Trade Federation, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a Trade Federation with Newt Gunray as the
Chancellor,
leader,
right?
Yeah. What was
the
he?
Viceroy?
The Viceroy.
Yeah.
Yep, Newt Gunray.
They were
the
like
Viceroy.
lizard people.
Yeah, they were. They were the super weird looking, kind of like gray alien looking dudes.
Yeah.
And So they're struggling to enforce. I think it was an embargo on Naboo. I want to say they formed a blockade so that they could no longer trade. At which point,
that sounds about right.
At which point, Sidious or Palpatine makes a motion in the Galactic Senate to disavow the Chancellor. And so then he proceeds to lead a vote to elect an emperor, which of course, that of course doesn't happen until episode 3. So I've jumped a little bit too far.
That's all right. That's all right.
But anyway, the whole point of this is that when Sidious takes on an apprentice, he's obviously only using Darth Maul for a quick minute because
they say that Darth Maul isn't even a Sith Lord apprentice. He's like an assassin. I've seen some.
Really?
Okay,
unless we're going on, I can't understand if we're going on canon and off canon.
I don't
Star
know.
Wars
We're
is
kind of all over.
Star Wars is so cool that who even cares about canon?
Good point.
Just the idea of the story of intermeshing with everything, the canon and non-canon. That great story is what's so interesting about it.
It is.
Right.
It is. And that's where we get that's where we get down to the battle of good and evil. Mm-hmm. The white hat, black hat scenario, the space western.
Yeah.
And and it's done so well. And we were just talking about that before the show. How the first scene of A New Hope really displays that. The first time you see, you have the rebel forces coming out and lining up in their white hats, and then the door opens, blasters come blazing through, and through the cloud of smoke emerges this huge, tall, dark figure in Darth Vader, and it just sets up the entire trilogy to be understood visually within the first, 2 shots of the movie.
And the first time you see good is in Princess Leia.
Oh, absolutely.
She's
dressed
like the
all
princess.
in white.
Yeah, she's dressed all in white, and that ominous male powerful figure in the goodness of the woman, the role, and it just sets up for a great story. Even in episode 4, where it starts, it doesn't even start in episode 1.
No.
What is George Lucas doing? He's a smart guy by doing it.
George Lucas.
He definitely sold himself 6 films.
Right.
Yeah, he did. No, when he came out, what a great idea to just start in the middle in medias res. Just unbelievable.
Do you think that even
can you think of another film series to do that?
No.
I can't either.
No.
I really can't.
We're on episode 7 right now.
Yeah, I know.
It's the first film in what, 30 years?
No. It would be
10 years.
2005. I want to say was
the last one.
Episode 3. Yeah.
So like 10 years, 10, 11 years.
Yeah, and honestly, to me, it was worth the wait. I love what they did. Like I'm with a lot of people where I wanted more Kylo Ren and less Ben Kenobi. Or Ben Kenobi, not old Ben. Not that guy in the cave in episode 4.
Yeah.
No, Ben Solo. And that's kind of what we got. It's almost like we got like, emo Kylo Ren for a little while, probably too long.
I saw a lot of like people talking about that. He even what I saw in the movie, that he kind of should have been a more stronger villain figure.
Yeah, I mean, like there are a lot of different disputes about that, and I think where it normally comes in is like he's the first guy we ever see to just stop a blaster mid blast, and just freezes the energy there.
Right? Does that make him the most powerful Sith that we see in the films?
See, I don't think so. I think what that means
he's not a Sith, first of all, I guess.
Well, technically, no, he's not a Sith. He is we know that he's a dark side force.
Right.
I mean, immediately.
Yeah.
We haven't seen. We've seen even in episode 7. We've seen no instance of the Sith.
No,
right.
And
there's been no Sith.
No, in fact, the argument is always made that when the Galactic Empire crumbled after the death of Sidious and Vader, that factions of that group became the First Order,
like competing for power.
Yeah, exactly. And so like a small faction of them on the fringe were able to actually retain Imperial power, and over time they became the First Order, and that's where we have help me, Snoke come in and assume power there.
And then that even goes back, we talked about earlier, the Plagueis theory.
Yeah, the Plagueis theory to Snoke.
For those
Snoke.
Yeah, true. And that would, I think that the Plagueis theory would be good because it would tie the prequels with these new ones, that it's like it's still that dark side power. I mean, there's only been so many Sith Lords, right? There's one.
Absolutely.
There's only the rule of 2.
Yeah, the rule too, and that applies directly to what you're just talking about with Darth Maul as an assassin versus an apprentice.
Yeah,
and because that opens it up, that has Plagueis survived this entire time? Has he been the driving force behind this entire thing? And if that were to be true, then bringing him back as Snoke would be a really cool way to do that.
Because when was Plagueis killed? Right before Episode 1.
That would be a very.
Plagueis technically would have been killed. Yeah, before that would have been before Episode 1. Yes. But we have no confirmation of that, and we don't even know if that's revered as canon.
True.
But what I find so interesting is that Abrams was sitting around with the creative team at the beginning of just like the brainstorming process behind Episode 7. And the way they came up with the First Order was they were having a discussion of what would it be like if the ex-Nazis who had fled to South America and Argentina and Brazil, what if they had maintained their, national socialism and decided to take over Brazil and Argentina?
Huh.
And that's where they got the idea for the First Order.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's confirmed in an Abrams interview.
Really?
And I find that to be really, really cool. And then also, like, if you look at it from that perspective,
is that kind of revealing?
Well, yeah, exactly.
We're gonna go conspiracy. That Hitler went to Argentina.
No, well, I mean, like, we don't know that. I mean, like, according to Plagueis, yes.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So we don't know about that,
because he was so strong with the Force that he could keep those from dying.
Yeah, he was supposed to be one of the most powerful, and that brings us back to what we were talking about, how we even got here, was that is Kylo Ren the most powerful dark side user?
Yeah,
and to that you'd have to say that we've seen certain Jedis display special abilities that other Jedis don't, and then those Jedis have different abilities from said previous Jedi. For like an example of this would be that Rey, once she got into the presence of the lightsaber, of Luke's lightsaber, she heard the voices of Obi-Wan Kenobi. and she was able
That's
to
right, she
actually
did.
she did, and she was able to actually visualize that event.
And she had that vision.
She did. She had the vision.
She had a force vision.
She did, and so we know that she can receive force visions. Now, we have not seen all Jedi do that. We've seen specific Jedi do that.
Yeah.
And so does that apply to the same dark side user where they have specific talents that maybe other dark side users don't? So is the ability to manipulate energy Kylo Ren's special ability?
Oh, that's an interesting topic.
That is true.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it was just really cool.
No, it was.
Yeah.
That was honestly that was our Vader scene in this movie.
Yeah, it was probably
when he stopped that.
one of my favorite things about Episode 7 is I've never seen something like that before.
No, that was great. I think we were all rooting for that, and when that happened, I feel like we all kind of did jump in our seats a little bit and get really excited about
Just
Kylo Ren.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
But he's almost he's very strong with the Force. But
Obviously.
he's obviously is there something in him that's tearing? I mean,
No question. And I think one of the clearest distinctions between this is where we look at the when you're looking at any kind of dark side user, be it Sith or be it Empire, what have you, First Order. Always look at the eyes, because every single time we see someone who is fully converted to the dark side of the Force, be it Maul, be it Palpatine,
Anakin
in
yeah.
Episode 3,
their eyes
they
are
always have the amber glowing eye. And even after the death of Han Solo, spoilers, you don't see that happen in Ben Solo's eyes.
Interesting.
And so, do I think that he thought that was going to happen? And I read an interesting theory about this. This is great. What's keeping Ben Solo from that full conversion? And the theory that I read that was presented really well was that think about what happened immediately after that. He kills Han, and immediately he's thinking, "Oh man, I've done it. I can now fully convert to the dark side. I'm going to become a powerful Sith Lord or dark side Lord."
like a Darth Vader, because that's his idol.
Exactly. And what happens to him immediately after that? He gets shot by the bowcaster, by Chewbacca.
Right.
And what do you think that does to him? Because the pain hurts. We know for a fact that they made it clear how much damage that bowcaster could do in the movie. They specifically pointed it out.
Right.
Yeah. But here we go. But here we go. Here's the real kicker on this one. What do you think he thought about? Do you think, Chewbacca is essentially this kid's uncle. He was around. Who do you think when Leia and Han needed alone time, who do you think he was palling around with, sitting on the lap of in the Millennium Falcon when he's a little kid? Chewbacca. It's his uncle, basically. He turns on his dad, kills him, and then his uncle basically shoots him out of retaliation, and that pain that he's trying to fight off by banging it in the fight in the woods with Rey and Finn
to the dark side.
He's trying to, but at the same time, that love and that feeling that he betrayed not only his father, but he betrayed Chewbacca, it's still alive. His betrayal still exists in the world through a living being who he's close with. And I think that draw keeps him from fully converting to the dark side. I think by the end of this, we're going to see Ben Solo become Anakin Skywalker in the sense that he'll fall away from the dark side.
I was going to say the same thing with Anakin, because on what's the planet where Anakin got shot or where Anakin died?
Where he dies? What, Endor? The forest moon of Endor?
No. The
Death Star.
Anakin Skywalker.
Okay.
The lava planet.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, in Episode 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
He's on when he's
I'll
on
bring
the
that
lava
up in a
planet.
second.
He freaking what was he? What am I talking about? Oh,
the death of Anakin Skywalker.
Death of Anakin Skywalker. He him and Obi-Wan Kenobi are fighting.
Yes.
And the pain he feels in that almost, you can say, doesn't really turn him to the dark side.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because he goes, but then he also betrays the dark side because of his son.
Right. Yeah.
And when we get to Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, he basically ends his life as a good guy.
Mm-hmm. Even after that betrayal, just like Kylo Ren.
Right.
What do you guys think about the prequel? Okay, what do you guys think about Episode 1?
Okay.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Overall, no middles. No middles.
I would say thumbs down.
I would give it a whole 2 thumbs down. I honestly think that there are very few redeeming qualities to that film.
Yeah, I mean, just look at
Yeah,
Jar
true.
Jar
I can't.
Binks.
There's no medals. Yeah,
Jar Jar
down.
Binks. I
No.
mean,
Killed it.
the only part I liked about episode 1 was Darth Maul.
Yes,
but at the
and
same
then
time, he's
I was
killed too
disappointed.
soon.
I was disappointed.
Yeah,
in
I mean,
that.
he has 2.
And Qui-Gon Jinn got killed.
Two-
And Qui-Gon
two
Jinn
scenes.
gets killed too.
Right,
And
and
then
then-
we don't even know the killer. Come on.
And like seriously, Qui-Gon Jinn is moving beyond and like seeing what we got out of episodes 2 and 3. You're telling me that Liam Neeson wouldn't have been a great addition to those movies? I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
He was that wise Jedi.
Well, he was the only person in episode 1 that didn't sound like their lines were being read at like there was a gun to their head. I mean, it sounded like every single line out of the movie sounded like a voiceover of Harrison Ford in Blade Runner. I mean, it was so forced and unnatural. It just made me feel sad for the actors.
Jar Jar Binks definitely killed it.
Oh,
hey,
good
what do you-
God,
okay,
Jar
how
Jar
do-
Binks.
have you guys seen the theories that Jar Jar was supposed to be a Sith Lord?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You
I
saw that?
I have, except for when they probably did a focus group on that one, brought Jar Jar Binks back for 3 seconds, and immediately like all of the little like tapping buttons just blew up and disintegrated into space, and they're like, okay, we're gonna bring about the apocalypse if we bring this character back.
Yeah. But he's the Sith Lord that really manipulated everything behind the scenes. And they pieced together like pieces of like words on what he said. Oh, he said the at this part. So therefore he's a Sith Lord.
Yeah.
And he was manipulating Sidious.
We know that because he uses prepositions.
Yeah. I saw some evidence that, he can do a force jump and do that crazy thing.
How do we know that wasn't just like a Gungan thing that they can just do
Yeah.
with those like spring-loaded
They're
legs? I mean,
aliens.
they look like frogs.
They're not everybody in main the Star Wars universe, the main characters are all humans. Okay? Humans can
For
only
the
do
most
so
part,
much
yeah.
things besides use the force.
Well, that was actually that's one of the interesting things of what makes up the Galactic Empire. What are they trying to achieve? What do they feel like that they're not getting done? And a lot of people have said, how many aliens, like non-humans, have you ever seen serving the Galactic Empire? None. They're all
Yeah.
human.
Yeah. I'm talking about like episode 4 through 6.
Yeah, episodes
Those
4
people
through 6.
on the ships are all human.
They're all human.
Besides the bounty hunters, which I mean,
Yeah,
you could say,
they're just contract killers. They're mercs.
Yeah.
So whatever.
We'll let it go.
They
Yeah,
don't count.
True.
So like if you look at it, like are they trying to set up like where like humans are actually, or like human at least forms, human like forms, I guess, humanoids is that the goal of the Galactic Empire, to assert like power to these?
Is there something
to these
special
humans?
about humans?
I don't know.
That they run the Galactic Empire and they're all with the Force?
That certainly is the case, and then like to that avail, if the
And
Plagueis theory
the
is
chosen
true,
one to bring balance to the Fourth was a human?
yeah, naturally,
Yeah.
and
No
like,
father?
and like if you look at it also, like if the Jedi are their opposites, look at the Jedi Council and how many of them weren't human. Almost all of them. There was Mace Windu. I mean,
Okay, yeah, true. Okay,
that's
yeah,
that's
okay.
like it's
Yeah.
it's almost like that's a statement upon.
It's so
like,
funny
you know,
that one of the last humans left on Earth is Samuel L. Jackson. I mean,
I know he's the first to
still
die in
living.
every other movie.
Yeah, but he's living.
I know. You know, after he got eaten by that shark, I was really worried for his career. That he may never come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
But you know, like Samuel L. Jackson is like the Lazarus of film. You just can't kill the man. He just keeps coming back.
True.
And also the highest grossing film actor of all time. I think we can throw that in there.
Wow.
Samuel
yeah,
L.
that's
Jackson.
True. I
Highest
think I
grossing
remember
film
that.
actor of all
Yeah.
time?
Of all time, Samuel L. Jackson.
Wow.
Yeah, he did it. And no one can take that away from him unless, well, probably somebody could.
I think it's by far and away too.
I mean,
It is.
They really can't take it away from him because if it's true, and people know it's true. You can take his money away, but you can't delete the truth.
Can't delete the truth. And that by the way, listen to Inform Nation.
Yeah, Inform Nation live Mondays
So-
2 to 4 here on the stream.
So anyway, we're at Mace Windu, and this is actually a perfect chance to get back to what we were talking about earlier, which is the fight between Mace Windu and Palpatine.
Okay, yeah.
In Episode 3. And this is where a lot of people draw the distinction of really the formation of the Galactic Empire was right there, which is basically that Anakin Skywalker is the apprentice of Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's yet to be confirmed for the Jedi trials, which he really gets pissed about and then whines about it to Natalie Portman in a scene that took way too long. And
wait, are you talking about a scene or the whole episode 2?
oh no.
Yeah, honestly,
specifically
okay,
one scene.
If we're gonna talk about episodes 2, I don't mean to get off track, but if episode 1 was bad, I mean I don't know how episode 2 wasn't bad.
you know,
no, it was
just those cheap
That's like if
storylines.
If you don't think it's hands down, then you're probably not a good
It was
Star Wars
so
fan.
lovey-dovey. I'm like, come on, this is Star Wars.
Oh, it was terrible. I mean, but you're asking, like two actors, one of which may have talent, the other of which doesn't, and I think we know that. And you put them in front of a green screen and you say, hey, why don't you go ahead and read these lines that I stole from a terrible romance novel, and we're gonna go ahead and see if that generates millions at the box office. It did. I'll be damned. But back to what we were talking about. Mace Windu and Palpatine are fighting. This is like the seminal moment in the entire saga where Anakin is forced to really evaluate the Jedi Code. And this is what Yoda would later relate to Qui-Gon Jinn as his greatest failure as the head Jedi Master. And that is that when Windu is fighting Palpatine, what is like the one thing that the Jedi always do? It's to show mercy. It's the light side of the Force, to understand and all of this. And what does Windu when Palpatine is Force lightning him with the purple lightsaber? And I mean, how awesome is that?
Yeah.
How badass was Samuel L. Jackson's purple lightsaber? That was awesome.
He specifically requested that if anybody out there was wondering.
And that is both how cool Samuel L. Jackson is and also Mace Windu.
There's a cool thing about lightsaber colors and what they really mean.
Oh yeah, there's an
like
entire
how they like rank up with like your level within the Jedi.
Exactly. And that's why when Luke shows up with the green lightsaber, everyone knows that like now he's legit in Return of the Jedi. Mm-hmm. But and so anyway, while this is happening, they're engaged in battle, and he turns to Mace Windu turns to Anakin, and he tells him to kill Palpatine. And at this point, Anakin is so conflicted that I can totally understand his turn to the dark side, because he's been learning about the Jedi Code, and they've told him to reject his love with Padme, which he can't do. Obviously, they have twins. It tells him to murder Palpatine, even though their code says don't kill. And all he does is see these hypocrisies in the Jedi Code itself, and he starts to wonder: is this really a system for good? Or is this the oppressive regime that Palpatine says it is? And I feel like at that moment of confliction, he makes his decision to turn to the dark side and to instead, cut off Windu's hand and subsequently get killed by Palpatine. And at that exact moment, like you kind of have to understand Anakin's point of view on that.
That's interesting.
And that sets up the entirety of both his why he was able to return to the light after a conversion to the dark side, because he was never really there. It was just confliction in what he saw as the code. And that's arguably what you'd have to ask is did Obi-Wan, when he left, did he see that same problem with the Jedi Code? Did he see those same hypocrisies? And is that something that maybe happened after episode 3? Is that when Obi-Wan defeats him, and the planet was Dathomir, by the way, when Obi-Wan defeats Anakin on Dathomir and cuts off his legs and his arm and leaves him a hobbled mess, all because he had high ground. What? Come on, Lucas.
So just to clarify, does he cut off both arms? Or
No, I think it was just one arm. I think it was one arm and two legs.
Both legs, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, weird. I mean,
but like you can feel like the hate in the dark side like really flow through him at that point.
Yeah,
absolutely, and that's when his eyes turn. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And he's half machine, half man at that point.
But if we understand the origin of his return of his conversion to the dark side initially, with that one Mace Windu scene where it's finally just the last straw of like the Jedi are all hypocrites. Mm-hmm. I think we can understand then when Ben Kenobi kind of trains Luke, but not in the same way. Like it wasn't, he waited for Luke to become basically his own man, because we know that the Jedi were trained as kids. And they were never given an option.
It's just an indoctrination system.
Exactly. It was an indoctrination system.
Way of,
and that was not what the light side of the Force represents. The light side of the Force represents freedom of thought. And that didn't allow it. It didn't allow love, which could strengthen the Force.
Maybe Anakin really did bring balance to the Force.
There's actually a compelling argument to be made that did happen.
Through his son.
Yeah, absolutely.
His symbolic death and his rebirth through his son.
And that leads to a point of, is that why Luke left? Is that why in Episode 7 they spend it looking for Luke after he disappears, after Kylo Ren turns?
I want to know about that too. I want to know about that too.
Is
he just gone forever?
I don't think so.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows where Luke Skywalker's at.
Yeah, I know. You would think that somebody
just be like, come on.
Well, especially Leia. Like, do you happen to remember when she in Return of the Jedi, she actually says that Luke's okay because she can sense it. Like,
yeah, she's got the Force too. So why isn't she?
How about you use that and find Luke Skywalker?
Yeah,
and the map too. It's just like, here's the universe, and here's where Luke at.
Yeah,
here's where Luke's at in this small little piece. And it's just like
perfect string.
How come nobody looked at this map and was like, okay, he's probably over here. We don't even need this piece.
What's worse, Carrie Fisher's acting or Princess Leia's lack of the Force?
Well, on pure disappointment level,
yeah,
they're tied.
Hey, but when we get back here on the Geek Squad, we're going to talk about that. Let's get into some deeper stuff here on the Force. What's going on with this song? John Williams?
Yes.
Problems with Episode 7, the best, the good, the bad, here on the Geek Squad. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
24.7 Plus 3 Naperville 247stream.com. Programming on. You're listening to WHVR DB Naperville.
We're back here at the Geek Squad, talking everything Star Wars. Thanks for joining us. Where do we leave off, you guys? I mean, Star Wars is so huge. I don't even know where we even left off.
I think we're going to start with episode 7, the good, the bad,
and
everywhere in between.
And the ugly?
I got a question, and it's kind of related. We can back up a second. Is Luke the best Jedi ever? Because he was trained to use the Force at a pretty old age.
It was substantially later, yes. And that's actually right where we left off, actually, in the conversation. Is that Luke, and then that's something to be asked, is did Obi-Wan realize it's best to let a kid be a kid and then train him in the Force? Because if you remember, when Anakin was brought as like an 8-year-old boy before the Jedi Council,
he was too
old.
Yeah, he was already too old.
I remember seeing that for the first time, being like, "What?"
And
exactly. Because all we know is Luke.
And I think that if Qui-Gon Jinn was never killed, Anakin would have never been trained.
Oh, that's a great point.
Ooh, wow.
Because Qui-Gon Jinn's death at the hands of a Sith, it just came out right there, like propelled Anakin into being trained under Obi-Wan.
And which begs the question, was Obi-Wan ready to train?
No.
Was he ready to take on a Padawan?
Yeah, there you go.
I think he basically goes into hiding because of it.
Yeah, more or less it seems that way. And then when he sees Luke, I think that he starts to realize, like, I have another chance at this. I'm going to do things differently this time. Because I'm going to let this kid explore stuff. Remember, like when he had like flirtations and stuff with Leia in episode 4, when Obi-Wan never came in and said anything to him. He never tried to stop that, even though we knew it was his sister, which makes Obi-Wan questionable at best.
It's kind of crazy that they put that in there.
It is. It is a little
like
weird.
The incest.
That entire let's have a love triangle.
It didn't even need to happen that way.
No, it really didn't.
No, it didn't. But I mean, like,
at least Luke's cool with his boy. We're getting with it, like with his girl means his sister.
Well, I mean, if nothing else, it did. Like, I'm pretty sure that was the only time in Mark Hamill's mainstream career he ever kissed anyone on screen. So.
I guess you can say a long time ago in a trailer park far, far away.
in the galactic trailer park that is the Star Wars universe.
Well, let's talk about Mark Hamill for a second too. One of my biggest problems with episode 1 was seeing him literally for 6 seconds and not have.
Episode 7.
Oh, sorry, episode 7.
Yeah. Right at the very end. I think they did something good with that. I mean, what do you think? Did putting Luke Skywalker not until episode 8 and like really his story help or hurt Star Wars?
I think it helps. I think we were all heading into the movie excited to see the old characters. If we had that broad sweep of every single one of their story arcs showing up in episode 7, we wouldn't have had time to delve into any kind of character in detail in episode 7, and we wouldn't have that same excitement built up looking forward to episode 8. I think this only does wonders for the anticipation of episode 8.
You know, this is cool that we're talking about this because, as you reminded me earlier, the director of episode 8,
Rian Johnson,
the director of Looper. How cool would it be, in my opinion, of course, if in episode 8 we get to see like this Quentin Tarantino flashback to how Luke got to where he is? Like, that would be really cool.
I think that would,
that's not out of the question at all,
right?
Whatsoever. I mean, like, and in fact, when you look at Looper, for instance, the flashbacks in that were incredible, and tantamount to the story.
Right.
I mean,
and I can see it. You can see Looper and using a Looper type thing in this next Star Wars.
Oh, absolutely.
Having the flashbacks. I mean, she already had a flashback.
Yeah, she did.
She already had one.
And so we know that that's probably going to happen. And honestly, that may happen more through Rey and her interactions with Luke.
Yeah.
Because she'll probably pick up Force visions from Luke just hanging out with him.
Right.
And maybe, is that really her ability to have Force visions, is that going to set her apart as the next Jedi? I mean, do you think there was already a mean, Luke already created a new.
Yeah, he
the
tried.
Jedi lights.
He tried the Jedi. Yeah, the
which
third
Kylo
Jedi
Ren
temple,
came
which
out of.
Knights of Ren slaughtered the kids. Yeah.
Do you think we're going to be seeing that?
Oh,
seeing in flashbacks?
That would be
A young Kylo Ren?
I do. That would be.
I do believe we're going to see that.
I think that would be really cool, honestly.
Yeah.
And I do fully expect to see that. And that's I think one of the things that they have to fill in. They just kind of jumped into the fact, like kind of like General Grievous when like we were reading the scroll and they're like, meanwhile, General Grievous, and you're like, who's General Grievous?
And
Who
even
is
General
that?
Grievous was just a character thrown in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and he's
Just
actually-
I would have liked to see
randomly.
more of.
I know, he's actually a pretty cool character.
Oh, he was
Yeah,
a
I
really
thought he
cool
was a cool
character.
character.
And in the Clone Wars, he plays a really big part through the
Right.
story arc of
Right.
the cartoon series.
I like that. I don't want to take it off topic, but in the Clone Wars, going from the actual movie The Clone Wars and going into the TV series The Clone Wars, I like how they did that.
Oh, that was awesome. Filling in
And
the
actually,
gap between
thank
2 and
God-
3.
Thank God they did that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Because
honestly,
they would have just been, what?
why not do an animated series between every film to let us
Yeah.
know what happens?
Yeah,
How cool would that be?
honestly,
Yeah,
and
that's
actually
cool.
that they in a way they are doing that, like with Star Wars Rebels on
Yeah.
Disney XD, actually a really fun show to watch.
Okay.
What do you think about Disney picking up Star Wars?
Well, honestly, for one, as ESPN is, and this is off topic. This is getting into business strategy of Disney.
Might as well.
But as ESPN subscribers are still falling by millions per year at this point. That is their biggest source of revenue is ESPN. On all of the Disney companies, ESPN is their biggest source of revenue.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that, but
Disney
it actually
owns
makes up like
ESPN?
35%. Yeah.
Wow.
And just ESPN's brand alone makes up like the biggest share of Disney's revenues. And so as that's falling, they needed something. They needed something to rebuild their brand on. And I think this is it. I think that they struck a gold mine here. And I think they're going to treat it that way. And I think we all know that when Disney wants to do something, that's probably the best company to put it in the hands of.
I honestly leave it down to, do you like Star Tours? And if
Yes.
you don't like Star Tours, you're not a Star Wars fan, because
It's
that
true.
ride kicks ass.
That ride
What is that?
is good. Oh, it's at Disney
And-
World. And
Is it the
it's
Star
even
Wars
newer.
ride? Star Wars thing at Disney World?
Yeah. Star Tours.
It's
I haven't been
amazing.
there in
and
years,
you know, it
so-
used
Oh,
to
it's
be
so
cool.
wonderful.
It used to be cool, and now it's even cooler.
It's true. They redid it. They remodeled it 2 years ago, and it is just way better now.
yeah,
Damn.
it's unbelievable.
It is.
And now they have plans for a whole Star Wars park.
an entire section of Disney World is going to be dedicated to Star Wars.
I mean,
which
how cool is that?
Yeah,
honestly?
I'll take it.
I mean, like hopefully one day we're going to be broadcasting live from there.
Yeah.
If things go as planned. That's the goal. It's the end goal.
Live from Disney,
Disney World.
World.
Yeah, with-
oh, man.
The Geek Squad. We're here talking Star Wars.
Yeah, I know, right? Where it's going to be us and like reporting to the nerdery
Yeah.
of scruffy looking nerf herders.
Yeah, and if anybody out there wants to bring up anything at all, please give us a call. 630
Yeah, if you think we missed anything.
445-1213.
Or join us live in chat, 247thestream.com. Click on listen and chat, and we'll get you live and up and on the air.
But you have to like ask yourself, as Disney picks up Star Wars, I mean, look what's happened with the Marvel franchise.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow, yeah.
I mean, like if you're looking for a template to follow, that would be it. That would be the successful film template of, the 2010 and beyond.
Yeah.
And I feel like Disney knows exactly where to put their money.
No,
behind this.
I love the bring up of Marvel, because when you look at the chart of like Marvel movies and then Star Wars, I mean, it's almost like they're parallel.
It really is. It really is. And like the Marvel movies once picked up by Disney, I mean, when was the last time you heard somebody say, "Man, I mean, Thor was pretty good, but I wish it were more like Rise of the Silver Surfer." No one's ever said that.
No, that's not going to
You
happen.
know, and so like like that transition to Disney for Marvel did wonders. Like Tobey Maguire isn't Spider-Man anymore. Awesome.
Yeah.
Like we did it, guys. Sam Raimi's not allowed to make Spider-Mans anymore, and I think
Didn't
that
Sony buy the rights to Spider-Man?
They did.
So they can exclusively only make Spider-Man movies?
yes, that is true.
That's
Wow.
That
That
is
is
smart.
true.
But-
It is smart. It is
Because
smart.
Spider-Man, you can make it forever. Spider-Man. Anybody can play Spider-Man.
Oh, it's true. It's just a normal guy. And that's actually Keel and I have had this debate since like 7th grade, why I hate Peter Parker so much.
Yes.
Is he just a normal guy?
Well, it's
Why
not
do
just
you
that
hate
he's a
him?
normal guy. It's just that he's so soft. I mean, like he can't talk to a girl. The only reason that he has any like spine at all is because he got bitten by a spider with radioactive powers. I mean, like this is a guy who still gets bossed around by Aunt May.
Yeah. No.
You know?
Yeah.
No. I mean, it's my argument is that try and read any issue where he's not complaining about something.
You can't. That's all he does is
Is he
whine.
like the Holden Caulfield of
Wait.
of the
That's
God,
funny.
he's even in the right city
universes?
too, isn't he?
Yeah, right.
He's in New York.
That's funny. I would say he's way worse though.
Oh yeah, he definitely whines more than Holden Caulfield. Except for his problems aren't even existential; they're just girl problems. Honestly, I feel like the only thing he needs to do is listen to Jay-Z's Black album. He'll be fine. I mean, good God, man. I mean, pull it together, Peter. What's the problem? Why are you crying so much?
But the best part about Star Wars is that it's nothing like that. It's so much better.
Oh God.
Well, I mean,
it is.
Well, honestly, Anakin does complain. a
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
that's
okay,
actually
yeah.
Anakin is the Peter Parker of Star Wars.
Yeah.
He is, and you know what? Somehow, and that's the thing. That's
And
the
he
thing.
doesn't even he gets the girl, but it ruins him.
Well, you want to know why I really like even as a huge fan, and I've seen all of the episodes 1 through 3, hundreds of times for no good reason at all. I don't even enjoy them. But one of the reasons that I can't help but watch it and find it so interesting is that of my entire childhood, I associated the most cool villain of all time with Anakin Skywalker, with Hayden Christensen.
And he
Yeah.
turned out to just be
How can you do that to
like
me?
a little boy.
George Lucas,
Yeah.
how can you do that to me? I don't picture him as Jake Lloyd. I mean, like, I picture Darth Vader as a child looking like a little Darth Maul.
Okay, how
Right.
many years go between episode 1 and episode 3 and the end of episode 3?
Ooh, I don't know. I would
Like, how really old is
however
he?
old Luke is, I guess. I mean, so let's say Luke gets picked up, let's say 18, 19 years old by Obi-Wan in episode 4. That would pretty much be the time span between episodes 3 and 4.
Okay.
So like
No, I'm
18,
talking about
19 years.
1 through 3. How old is Anakin Skywalker
Oh,
when
God, as
his,
he goes
fall
through.
happens?
All right, well, let's
He's
say
picked up at,
he
like, a
gets there.
child.
Yeah, let's say he gets there at 8, right?
Okay.
Like he's pod racing, being all wizard on Tatooine, getting out of stuff with
And he's using the Force with
the
it.
Geonosian guy, who is one of the worst characters ever.
It never
yeah,
really shows
horrible.
how
The space mensch.
young Anakin Skywalker has the Force.
Yeah.
And then Qui-Gon's just like, yeah, he's got it. And you're just like, what's the Force? Like, we already know what it is, okay? Can we see him use some cool Force things as a young kid, that he's the chosen one?
Well, I mean, you would like to, but I think that one of the coolest things that brings up is who is the chosen one and what is this prophecy?
Yeah,
I mean, like,
yeah.
is Anakin the chosen one? He has the highest metachlorian count, whatever that means. But like, you could argue that Luke's the chosen one. You can also argue that Luke disappeared specifically because he kind of lost faith that he was the chosen one to restore
Oh,
balance
that's
to the
interesting.
Force.
That is just,
Yeah, that's really interesting.
So at that point, you kind of gets the spurs kicking a little bit, and well, at least I do. I start to ask, like, really, what was it that Luke was running away from? And also, we know that Kylo Ren is Ben Solo, and we know that he chose the name Kylo Ren, and he was a Knight of Ren.
And they're going to explain. I want to see them
Who is
explain
that?
that. I want to see them
Who
explain
are the
that.
Knights of Ren?
Yeah,
we don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I hope with the new Looper director, we're going to get all kinds of backstory here.
You would
That'd be
hope so.
cool.
I mean,
That'd be cool.
It's totally possible though that one of the future films is going to address that. That's not the direct series, but one of the outside films.
And how did he go from the Knights of Ren to Snoke?
Yeah, that's a good question. And is Snoke one of the Knights of Ren? Or
Is he like a leader?
Is that like a Sith order, or
Yeah.
what is that? Like we
Yeah.
really don't know.
Is that
We're
just-
given
we
no
don't
clues
know.
to that.
I'm thinking it could be like a Sith front group.
That would be awesome. Actually,
Like,
that would be really cool.
because the Sith are a very like the rule of 2.
Yeah.
And well, now he has many things. The Sith Lord has many people to choose from among his knights.
That would make perfect sense to
And he chose
pick the
Kylo Ren.
one as and then kind of have a legion
Ren.
of crazy red sword.
And who knows what they're
dudes.
doing behind the scenes? Who knows who they're controlling? Like
No,
what the other knights are, because we see that vision, and all those knights are there.
We do. Yep. The vision. Yeah, in the rain. Oh, that was so great.
Oh yeah,
that was so
right.
cool.
That's
Who are
really
those
cool.
people?
Yeah.
Yeah, that we don't know, and like that.
Is Snoke really 30 feet tall?
That's
he's
another
a hologram.
thing. It's a hologram, so we don't know about that. However, the one thing that we do know is that in episode 6, Return of the Jedi, when Sidious announces that he is coming to make sure that the battle station is fully operational, I believe that's verbatim, he appears as only his head on the projector, and it's absolutely massive. And before that, we've never seen that before.
We've
and
just
so was that
seen-
an intimidation tactic that possibly was used by, the overlords or what?
Like,
have you?
we need to know, has Kylo Ren met Snoke in person? They know each other.
Ooh, that's a good call.
They know each other.
If you remember, he's actually ordered to return to complete his training by Snoke.
But he said, bring him to me. No, he said, to complete his training.
Yes.
So he's obviously been trained.
He's obviously been trained a little bit. What we don't know is
has it been in person?
Has it been in person? And also we really don't know anything about Snoke. We've heard a conversation between Han and Leia about Snoke, and we've seen a couple holograms where he had a conversation with Kylo Ren and the commander of the First Order.
Yeah. And I can't.
Domhnall Gleeson.
I want to see that guy, the commander. Okay. Captain Phasma. We haven't even talked about that.
Oh God, not enough time. She was the Darth Maul of Episode 7.
I hope not. Even Boba Fett was cooler than her, and he didn't do nothing.
Oh no. Well, yeah, the bounty hunters were completely lost on this one. But like Phasma, she has this awesome, super sleek looking metallic
and they show
armor.
her a lot.
Yeah, and they show her. And she's supposed to be super badass.
Yeah,
she's like the lieutenant to Kylo Ren's captain. I mean,
yeah.
And you're telling me that
it's a woman,
and like that's cool, and also I mean and we know that the actress who plays her is Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So we might,
which is really cool.
Are we going to see her face?
I honestly hope not. That's something that I wish that they had done.
I mean, they should have just done it already.
Yeah, if they're ggoing to do it already. Do it right there in Episode 7. We don't need that.
Maul back.
It's like if Kylo Ren takes off his mask to remove the mystery and to kind of show that it's not like the helmet and the black hat that's the intimidating factor. It's himself. You have to wonder, like, if they were going to do that with Phasma, they would have already done it. But in reality, they just captured her and shoved her down a garbage chute after ordering her to open, the gate. Like,
threw her down a garbage chute. Like, there's way too many. Okay.
Yeah, the parallels.
Here
we go.
Episode 4.
Yeah.
Was it too much?
Not for me. I love the nostalgia of it so much. I was so excited to see that, to kind of see the rebirth of the classic Star Wars.
I would have liked to have seen something new.
Sure.
In every trilogy, we've gotten something brand new.
Right.
That's
that
true.
was one cool thing that George Lucas still wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
In my opinion. I mean, I know that I honestly I'm kind of on the fence. Because I like the classic storytelling, but I think I would have been just as cool with, a brand new storyline, the one that doesn't completely mimic Episode 4, which I believe Episode 7 kind of does.
Oh, yeah, it does. It doesn't kind of.
I mean,
it does.
You have a harder time.
In almost the exact same way, like how they find the Millennium Falcon and they take off and it's a fight. And it's like almost the exact same. You can place the exact same things.
Yeah, it's true. That is entirely true.
But that doesn't mean that Episode 8 won't be like Episode 8.
No, I mean, exactly. And like that's something that I fully expect to happen. I mean, the way we were left in Episode 7 didn't seem like the end of A New Hope. It really didn't. I mean, like they destroyed the battle station, which was, I mean, obviously exactly the same. And honestly, we don't need to call it like the whatever they call it, like the Star Planet Station, whatever.
Yeah, Star Killer Base.
Yeah, Star Killer Base.
Just trying really hard to call it Death Star.
Yeah, exactly.
And they had to show the pictures of them. Oh,
they did. This was the Death Star. Here's the second Death Star. Here's Star Killer Base.
It's like, and you're like, get it. Okay,
Death Star. You would have thought that they would have stopped designing these things. They were obviously obviously so easily destructible.
Like anybody can just find the plans.
Seriously, like, I mean, really, what do you guys do? You didn't improve anything anytime you've built one of these stupid things.
And like, where is like the security on the planet when there's intruders?
And where are they getting the money to build these things?
Yeah, there's no money in Star Wars.
I mean, like, what, the galactic credits? Like, what? They just
credits?
Maybe it's possible they just like bankrolled their own, galactic credits, just started printing them like crazy, and then just gave them out.
Like going to
non-canon inflation war,
flying all the way back to Plagueis. He was a moon, non-canon.
Yeah,
but
non-canon.
He was a moon, and the moons were the international banking clan.
I like it. I like that theory.
And that's how he came about, by creating it was his idea to create the empire, right?
Sure. Yes.
And he used his apprentice to do it. His apprentice killed him, but through secretly, he probably still had control of the empire, whether he comes back or not.
Well, that's also one of the questions that I have, and is specifically related to the Plagueis theory, is what we don't know is we've never really seen a Force ghost from the dark side. We've seen it from everyone on the light side pretty much who's died.
Not true. In Star Wars, The Clone Wars, in the very, very almost last episodes, you see Darth Bane come back as a Force ghost.
Really?
And that is the only other Force ghost that is from the dark side.
Good memory.
That is that's good. That's good. So now we know that can happen.
Yeah.
So how do we know that Plagueis really ever left?
And talking about the Sith, how powerful are the Sith now?
We don't even know.
Yeah.
We have no idea the numbers of the Sith, or if it's even the Sith.
Yeah, true. I would like to see there's got to be a reemergence of the Sith. I mean, there even was, even between the 1 through 3 and 4 through 6, there was the Sith right there. The downfall, but they're still there.
Right.
Now they died, but yeah, they're still there.
And this is of course like the entire prophecy, the balance of the Force. Mm-hmm. So is it possible that the only way the Force can be balanced is for all the Force positive people to not exist anymore? I mean, wouldn't it make sense that they cancel each other out? I mean, if there are two Sith Lords, and like at this point, how many Jedi are left? It would appear that it's Luke and Rey. Yeah. And if there are two Sith,
what about Finn using that lightsaber?
Oh well, no, I'm pretty sure I could have wielded that as well as he did. That was, I mean, like, and by the way, we haven't even broken into Finn at all.
Yeah, oh my God.
And honestly, I have to say it was great to have comic relief in like a really like human form. It was really cool to have like a strong female lead and have a guy there who was kind of like the clumsy dude of all along. I mean, True. Like he was like Jar Jar Binks if Jar Jar Binks didn't suck.
Yeah. I guess I kind of agree
because he really did nothing besides just like. And what's been going on with that pilot that they freed?
Oh, with Poe Dameron.
Yeah, why isn't he more talked about?
That's a good question. I mean, like Poe Dameron is obviously our new Han Solo. Yeah. You know, like that's obvious.
Or is Finn the new Han Solo?
Finn's not talented enough to be the new Han Solo.
No, I mean his character was kind of like that.
I mean, in a way, but like you have to think of like Han is like a scoundrel. And like I'm just trying to think like Han Solo could walk into any cantina around Mos Eisley and pull tail.
Yeah.
I don't think Finn could do that. Yeah. I mean like Finn just gets like punked by Rey.
Well, there's some people who think that Finn's gay.
Oh, with Poe Dameron.
With Poe Dameron, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it seemed that way, didn't it?
It is a little homoerotic.
It is. I mean, but like
take my jacket.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, it looks great on you. And I'm like, oh, thanks. And like, you know what? Like, if that's the case, like, cool. I mean, we've never actually seen any kind of sexual orientation even discussed in Star Wars. So
right.
Why the hell not?
I mean, yeah, there has been. There's been what's it called? Anakin and Padme.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, I mean, yeah. But we've only seen like what that's one story. Like out of like the entire like we're talking like a span of so many characters, and we know that Padme and Anakin kind of maybe did it once. But like when you go back to like Shmi Skywalker, she gave a virgin birth to Anakin, according to legend.
Some
by the way,
people say that.
How do we know it wasn't just some like metachlorian athlete
some people say
who was
Plagueis
playing a
did that.
game on that planet that week?
I've heard Plagueis did that. He can maybe nip the midi-chlorians.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That'd be sick if that was true.
And
that'd be
that's
awesome.
the whole Plagueis thing where he comes back around again, but it was really him.
Yeah.
That would be
I could,
absolutely nuts.
If the Plagueis theory, going back to even... We started this thing with the Plagueis theory.
We
Let's
did.
end
And
it
we're
with the Plagueis
exactly
theory.
Now we're
full
still
circle.
ending it. Wow.
First full circle.
Do you think that having the Plagueis theory come back would be a good tie-in overall?
I personally would absolutely love it.
Same.
It would offer an entirely refreshing take on the entirety of the series and kind of bring it all in to really wrap up well. I think it'd be perfect.
Definitely. But anyway, this has been the Geek Squad. I thought it was great. This is a great conversation.
Oh, yeah, this is awesome.
Thanks to everybody listening. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and if you were listening and enjoyed the show, I mean, we had so many topics we didn't even get to.
Oh yeah. We'll be back for plenty more of this.
Definitely. Hey, if you liked what you heard here, go on SoundCloud, go to 24.7 The Stream. You'll find the Geek Squad episode of the Star Wars. You'll find it there. Listen to it whenever you want. Anyway, I'm David, joined with Matt and Keel.